as fast as possible and then can themselves. Harvesting, they listen for it, the audio cues, knocking walls and stuff down. There's only so much down there that he can farm off of in order to build against before that player's going to have to make a move.
Yep. Look at his nade. Actually, I'm not sure if
he's starting to make a rotation to the side. Yeah,
he's going to actually go out to the parking lot, trying to get a cheeky shot in across the balcony here, playing it patient. What a fight that this was! And it's going to be, I think, oh no, missed opportunity. I thought he connected for a headshot there. I definitely jumped the gun.
Almost had.
Looked like it was a pure headshot right there.
I don't blame you. It looked like Nade was potentially trying to bait a shot from Slaya, just play through as much ammunition as Slaya might have left.
And I'm the one that got baited in the end there, so clearly.
Baited and outsmarted. Well, that's why you're behind the desk,
clearly
not down on the floor.
Not playing. 100% agreed. It looks like that's going to be a rotation coming from Nade. I wonder if Slaya's going to follow, though, and try and continue on that rotation. Meanwhile, moving back over to, I believe this is Pleasant Park, as
Indeed
you see. The fight is wrapped up. Smile still rotating on the outskirts as well.
You're going to see players early game try and avoid each other as much as possible. Literally in the top left, you see this 98. I believe that includes the spectator count as well. Keep that in mind. But roughly 90 players left on the field, and the first circle has not even closed yet. So we have quite a bit of time here. That feed there, Jax picking up an elimination.
And I just saw those two players you just saw pick up those limbs, Jax and Spoiling, two dark horses in my eyes. A lot of people are looking at the Mind Freaks of the world, the twin, of course, Jesse playing, but I think Jax and Spoiling both placed first in their respective heats. Dark horses not signed by an org or a team. They're looking to prove themselves this weekend. Keep an eye on them.
We saw a clip from Creek Fresh earlier. Gets a elimination feed down there, but ooh, wow. The building drops out from underneath, and Adams picks up an Elim.
I think that was his own dynamite, too, that actually ended up costing him his life there. And now Adams, I'm sure if I don't see a plane there in spawn, so he's going to have to rotate the good old-fashioned way as the storm is closing. It looks like here. Moving on over, Nade going to get taken out. So you saw Nade earlier over by the motel. Looks like Dark Rock comes out on top. So the rotation, avoiding that fight versus Slaya from Chief did not work out in his favor. He does get taken out here as Dark Rock is just going to heal up. Meanwhile, Wally Hack, I like his name already. He's going to be tagged up by a stink bomb here. Trying to rotate in a tough position is Wally Hack as he is getting hunted. I mean, absolutely hunted right now.
The stink grenade's coming out. He's going to try and rotate away from that. But the top down, that's a tough one to move away from. He's got to use every single build that he can to try and stay alive.
Oh, who is it? It's Jalen. We mentioned him earlier as a favorite. One of the most aggressive players in Australia. Looks like
quick
he's
edit coming in.
Oh, I like the builds. I like the edits already from Jalen here. Interesting fight. He has high ground, playing patient. Gonna get tagged up by Wally Hack here. And looks like he's just going to try and heal up with those minis.
Little pauses in between fights, so you're going to see competitive players take every moment they can to utilize their time. If you waste time like that, if you don't build, if you don't heal, if you don't do everything you can to stay alive in the middle of fights, things can go south real quick.
Yeah, well said. He's building high here. I'm thinking he has glider redeploy in this situation, as he has confidence in building high. Of course, glider redeploy added to the game recently gives you the ability to redeploy your glider. He's going to actually take out Wallhack. Huge plays from Jalen. I believe that's his second. And Jalen, again, a heavy favorite, is going to go a little cheeky for the crowd here as well, as Jalen is clearly trying to make some fans today, and he's doing well with 2 eliminations to his name.
That laugh emote might be one of the worst ones in terms of having to listen to that.
Cringe, nails in a chalkboard.
I feel bad for myself when I hear it. Now, I would like to point out super quick, obviously, for everyone watching at home, and if you're here, we're working through some spectator issues. Obviously, materials, player count, storm, all that is slightly off based on what you're seeing on the screen and what's happening actually in the game. So we'll try and stay on top of that for you. Snowy here, just outside of Tomato Temple. He's gonna, right now you can't see it through the spectate, but he was holding the edit on that triangle piece, because if you're standing there and you're, the top of your character is through there, so the camera is through the top, when you edit, you can see through the pyramid. It gives you the ability to kind of, you're scouting without exposing yourself.
Exactly. Place a pyramid above your head.
Mr. Fresh Asian going down
and
Devour.
Indeed. Well played by Devour there, as it looks like Mr. Fresh Asian 1 game down. Of course, he has 5 more to be able to make up for lost time here, and he's going to continue to roll.
That's the thing about competitive Fortnite is you may have 1, 2, 3, even 4, or quite honestly 5 bad games. But the fact that in 1 game you can pick up 6 points if you hit both the elimination count required and get first place, you get the Victory Royale, that's huge. So a bad game doesn't mean the end of things, and left, right going down, sliding down the outside.
Look at that.
That pump action shotgun, a 160 crit.
Great shot. And the headshot from Slayer, making pure definition of his name right there. Taking out 1. That's going to be 1 elimination to his name, as he rotating over towards Fatal Fields right now. Going to get an RPG to his name, and he has that Rift to go as well for a quick rotation.
And suddenly we have spectate update there. Appreciate that. We have the second storm starting to close. We're going to be in ring 3 here in just a second. 61 players left. You're going to see high player counts early game from this, and at some point, hopefully, we can get a full map up so that people can see just how tightly compact the players are going to be as this next circle starts to close. We have a very far southeast, Paradise Palms focused circle. Okay, Jason, little 1v1 here around a plane.
Well done.
Taking advantage of Season 7 here in just a second. A1 Beats goes down.
So he'll be hopping. That's one thing we haven't talked about or seen much of yet, is the use of Storm Wings. They, of course, were recently nerfed, and obviously took a little bit of a nerf. Less spawns exist, and it takes a little bit less damage, and you also take some damage if you die.
They're still incredidly powerful, though, and you're going to see competitive players very much focus on trying to get in one of these, because it gives you the ability to not engage, have in a prominent position, and just kind of stay away from combat for a while. You can scout from up top. You can even go so far as to swap onto the onto one of the wings, heal quickly, and jump back in and keep flying. They're very advantageous if you can get one.
You see here our first view of the overhead map. Look how many people still alive, 57, and we're coming down to our third storm here in just a minute, as it looks like rotations are coming through from a few folks. You saw some names over in Paradise Palms. You saw Jax. You saw Price. Price is the player whom is a person to keep an eye out for. He actually is currently sitting in first place with 4 eliminations. Price, a leader in the pro Discord scene of Oceania, looking to perform here and make a name for himself today.
He's the only one with a point thus far, as we haven't gotten high enough placements. These redeploys are going to be super important as well. Even just little steps, little jumps to get closer to the safe zone, but it's not enough.
I think that right there, Lupo, shows the importance of early rotations.
Oh, yeah.
Something you talk about often in casting the Passive Courage and team. Talk about the importance of rotating early in competitive Fortnite.
The longer you wait, the worse the position you're going to be stuck in. Now, I'd like to point out real quick, 2 teammates, Twiz and Vibe, stuck almost right on top of each other here, just outside of the racetrack. Looks like they're west side, which means they're not in the safe zone. They're going to have to rotate south in about a minute and 10 seconds. 55 players left. We're going to be heading into circle 4. But still a very stacked lobby. And Vince takes a couple shots there. He's going to box in.
And this is an unfortunate situation to be in for Vince. Looks like he might be able to breathe for a sec. But when you start getting tagged up by someone, it's crazy how in competitive Fortnite, mentalities just shift. Eyes just beam you. And next thing you know, you're getting focused by 3 or 4 people. Vince is able to avoid that in that situation, avoid getting taken out by his teammate. That's Twiz. They both land in the northeast corner of the map together. One lands in Wailing, one lands near Block. Surprised that they're both still alive here and haven't seen each other or faced each other yet.
We got Jinx with a very good top-down view, that putting a good show on for that Twitch clan tag that he's wearing there. Now, Hype, who we saw earlier, put himself in one of the best positions. I watched during one of his heats. He had rockets, a pump-action shotgun, a suppressed AR, 2 medkits, and minis, and 100-100. He was kitted to the teeth and ended up winning that game. Very intelligent player. He had a really good kit previously. It looks like right now maybe in a tougher spot, stuck underneath Jinx here, stuck in a 1-by-1. They're kind of building up this wooden apartment complex around each other. Goes for the waterfall, and looks like he may have missed the wall builds, catch himself, takes a little bit of fall damage. Arwin goes down on the feet.
And that's Jalen picking up his 3rd elimination. That's a point for Jalen, a point for Price right now. Both of them showing up so far. I believe unsigned players over in Australia making a name for themselves. It looks like action is about to ensue here. Twiz and Vince right next to each other once again as teammates of Mind Freak.
I think patterns like that, these players ending up near each other, I think it shows that they play together quite a bit. And by the way, in the feed, Korax eliminating. Actually, it looks like the Storm claimed another life there. But those teammates from MF, they're going to play together a lot. They're going to play off of the same rotations quite a bit. And that's both good and bad, because in a situation like this, it's solos. If they run into each other, they don't know that it's the other person, so you may eliminate a teammate. But oftentimes, especially in competitive Fortnite, like we've seen in the past, these players are going to sit on top of each other and avoid engagements. Now, Twiz picking up one there on Kojos.
Twiz, a consistent player in the CPL. That's kind of the pro league over in the Australian side of things. He is going to get his 2nd elimination. So Twiz of Mind Freak, a very reputable team and organization in Australia, is performing. His teammate Vince also alive here. A good start for the Mind Freak team.
You know they've got to have a big smile on their face right now. For a second, you saw Jordy sitting up top in an excellent spot. I think he might even have the best height advantage right now. And Circle 3 is going to close in 5 seconds. 48 players left. We have only 2 players, Jalen and Price AK, with 3 eliminations or more, a point apiece.
Yep. We got a couple players that are hovering at the 2-point. Looks like some
Bill
shots
sitting
coming
on
on
2
Bill.
HP tops.
Oh, yeah. He's not
inside a box.
Any explodes here would really help Twiz in this situation.
Sting grenade would be literally a one-shot.
You could breathe on him, and I think he'd fall over.
Bill's going to have to play his life down there and try and stay away from any engagements. A stray SMG round could spell elimination for him.
Yeah, I think it's looking grim for him. Looks like a few players hovering at the 2 elimination mark. That's Twiz, Skeletia, Samuel, Glorious Mop, Jax, and Skin Fade Jason that we can see right now. So keep an eye. If you see one of them pick up an elimination, that's going to be a point for them. Desire gets taken out, though.
Twiz
That's going to be by Twiz. He gets his 3rd point. His 3rd elimination. That's a point for him. So Twiz gets on the board here with 1.
Hype in an effort to rotate, gets caught, basically pinched between 2 players, but Jinx gets
Phil
back from the back. Phil eliminates Hype. Jinx goes down to Parpy, the 5th party at that point. So many players taking every advantage they can. Those, wait to the last second, open, edit a window, take a couple shots, and close it off. You don't want to expose yourself too long. Like you said earlier, the second that you start throwing shots out at players that are even mid-rotation, everyone else that's in a safe spot that has an advantageous position, they're all going to look at you. They're going to lock eyes on where the shots are coming from and where they're going, and they're going to look for every chance they can to just pick up even one Elin. That could mean the difference between 1 or 2 points or even 0 or 1 point.
And that's a great point. Also says and stresses the importance of an early rotation. Looks like Twiz is hunting now. Phil somehow still alive with 1 HP. He actually picked up an Elim earlier. So some way, somehow, Phil is making mountains out of molehills here.
Now this circle coming in is going to start applying pressure. Twiz kind of canning himself off from above. He's going to take side shots at Parpy. He wants that launch. Take advantage of the launch pad, and it gets eliminated. It gets destroyed. Twiz trying to move in, but can't make the jump in time.
Oh, that's the one shot on Phil that he needed. There it is. Twiz is going to connect for his 4th elimination. What a start from Twiz here. Top player in competitive Fortnite down in Australia, and he's showing why.
He's got his teammate from Line Freak there, Vince, rotating at the same time. Stale stuck underneath, trying to rotate up and follow Twiz's builds, but just barely falling off the edge. Going to try and go for the shot and can't land it. Build to defend and get up above. The Storm still applying pressure at this point, so he cannot sit. Whereas Mop going down on the feed to devour. And Twiz is trying to look for any shot on players up above that may have rifted.
Oh my
Vince eliminating Soda. Stale eliminating the Storm claiming him. Jordy takes Vince out. And we're down to 37 players left, 45 seconds left in this circle, and everybody's stuck building on the side of a mountain.
This is not a good situation to be in. You want to rotate early to get natural high ground. Natural, we mean by the mountains that are pre-built in the game. If you can get on top of one of those mountains early, you have a huge advantage. Getting stuck at the bottom or mid-ground of those mountains can put you in a tough spot here. So we'll see what Twiz is going to do on that mid-ground. Meanwhile, Jax and Co. still posting up over here by Paradise Palms. Jax on the brink of a 3rd elimination, which is going to get him a point. Keep an eye on Jax here. A key dark horse in this tournament in my eyes.
Now we're coming up on probably the most panicked situation in competitive Fortnite. That is the first time the circle moves, and that starts in 5 seconds. A number of the players in the feed in the top right there you see already stacked up inside the safe zone, but man, I'm going to say that's probably 10 tops, which means the entire rest of the field is about to rotate. You're going to see a lot of layered building, and things are going to get pretty hectic pretty quickly.
You got to think right now, Jax with 2 RPGs and an assault or legendary assault rifle, full health, and yet you just pointed out, full health and shields nearly. He's in a good position to get that 3rd elimination. He's going to try and stay mid-ground, stay high ground, and rain RPGs down on his opponents if he can. Keep an eye on Jax at the bottom left. Jalen, meanwhile, going to pick up another elimination for him as well. On board with Chiefs Parpy right now with ultimate high ground in the game, as you'd expect from Parpy himself.
Now you want to make sure in a situation like this, you see he's layering back over his own stuff. He's on a pretty individualized branch of that build. A shot on him.
You don't see this very often in North America. You don't see people contesting a lot of those storm wings.
Most of the time this is ignored and they pay more attention what's around it, but I think Parpy in this situation, he knows there's nobody is going to challenge the height. He's trying to take just slow tap shots. Look for first shot accuracy on Unity all the way up top. He's getting a couple hits.
That's it.
Taking him out of the plane.
He's out of the plane here, I believe.
This is an opportunity. Parpy could pick up a 2nd or even 3rd Elin, depending on what he goes for, what's left in the air. Slow, just got to pace those shots.
Yep. Trying to thread the needle here with that heavy AR. Tough to do in that situation. We're going to hop back down to low ground and see how this fight is ensuing. Minkin, a player to keep an eye out for. Very, very late game oriented player. Very passive in his play style as well.
Now this next circle rotation, you already saw rifts popping. Players trying to take just a float-in approach, because this circle is making everyone move, and the end zone for where this is going to end up is just on the southwest corner of the hill, the mountain north of Paradise.
You see that med kit floating down. I think that was actually whoever was getting focused there that actually got eliminated out of the sky. On board,
did in fact.
It was. Yep, there you go. It was him. So on board now with Jalen, launching some dynamite. This is going to actually shake things up here. Expect a lot of that low ground cover and builds to be destroyed. Some opportunities here for everyone. A close range fight. It is going to be Jalen. Connects to the first shotgun, and he's going to get the elimination. That is going to be a 5th for Jalen. That's his 2nd point.
It is indeed. We've got 24 players left, so we're getting close to the point where ranking is going to start mattering for points. 10 seconds on the finish of the circle move. This is what I was talking about. You're stuck on the side of a hill.
Brutal.
Everyone is going to be stacked vertically on top of each other. You're going to see some crazy edit downs and edit down and up vertical edits to take advantage of that. Keith from Gosu building up, trying to get top on everybody, and there is still a tower up there, but nobody's left in. Now at the end game here, we have the 7th, 8th, 9th circle left. There's no downtime for movement. It just goes and goes and goes. So you're going to have players moving constantly to stay ahead of this with 16 left.
Yeah, that's a great point. And this Paradise Palms end is just brutal because you have so much natural high ground. Looks like a jump pad is placed. That's Oz we're on board with right now. Just trying to stay alive and trying to land somewhere that's advantageous to him. He's going to find a nice little mid-ground spot. Not Naper.
Little nook he can sneak in just barely.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Naper here does have mid to high ground in his end as well. Minkin's going to pick up an elimination as well. Fights are ensuing. It's going to be a nice shot on Hershicles of Renegades, but no, he is going to get taken out there by Shy. Hershicles gets cleaned up as well. On board with Zenith, looking for high ground to his name. Back to Jalen with 5 eliminations to him.
11 players left. We've got 40 seconds on this next circle move. Everybody's going north, and it looks like Jalen has ultimate high ground here. A number of minis still, a full med kit. His kit is looking really good for the situation. He doesn't have to engage. He can wait it out. He needs 2 more elims, and at this point, third partying and waiting is going to be key. But everybody's going crazy during this circle rotation. Shy in there, getting dropped by Keith. Gosu, Ozmas is just waiting. A little peek, no shot.
Want that one back. He's going
his opponent there, Devour, not realizing that shots are coming out from an opponent in the side. He was just kind of caught looking straight up, it looked like. Mass waiting, just every single little edit. There we go, another shot on Devour. Goes for it and gets the shot. There's another elimination.
And here now on board with Jordy, another fan favorite, a streamer, and a fun one to watch. And Jordy's going to connect for the headshot on Keith. Well done from him. Jordy sitting with his 3rd elimination. At the point, he is finally...
picks up his
Jalen
6th.
picks out Elzy. Wow. One more elim for Jalen, and he gets his 3rd point of the game. 4 players left.
Jalen has sitting on 1 HP. Jordy, twins.
Not kidding up.
Only a few players left, and this is the final circle. He's going to have to sneak in here, and that might be all she wrote. Jalen going down with 6 elims, should still feel good about that.
Oh, look who's still alive here. It's going to be the X2 twin. That's Jesse, who qualified, going for the heal-off. We know how well he plays in the late game, a more passive player, very smart, very consistent player, and it looks like one of the X2 twins is looking to win this first game.
Janzar Minkin's going to go down with the storm here in a second. Snake just throwing it all the way down. That redeploy maybe. Could not land it.
And it's going to be Jesse.
It home.
Can you believe it? Game number 1. With 5 HP to his name, it is Jesse, the X2 twin himself, representing for the brothers here, and a nice cheeky dance to celebrate as well. What a performance from the X2 twin as he comes out with the first Victory Royale of the day.
One thing that you pointed out in the middle of that, now over the course of the entire match, we saw a number of players, a lot of go-to strategies that we've seen in the past. You mentioned though, Parpy taking shots at players that were all the way up in the air, knowing full well that he was not going to be challenged. That's that kind of awareness. We don't see too many people North American side taking advantage of that.
Here as well is that you have to play to what you've got. So we saw Jesse come through. He said, look, I found myself a shotgun. I had a ton of healing, but that was it. So in that sort of situation, you don't want to go out and play the, those long engagements. You don't want to get too caught up. He jumped in the plane. He flew around. He stayed in the game until things were a little bit closer. Things were a little bit tighter, perhaps. The storm eye closed in. And that's when the healing really came through. Some interesting plays coming out there. Some controller players as well. I'm going to be very interested to see how those players competing with controllers go up against those playing on keyboards and mice. Who comes out on top, we're yet to know. Mr. Fresh Asian, we spoke about him this morning. I think he was eliminated about 66 or something like that.
Had a rough start.
Yeah, that was definitely not the start that he wanted. However, it's only match 1 of 6.
To be fair, though, he is from the same organization, Renegades, so in a way, this would be a win for him. He also shares that squad or that team with, you also have Hershicles, but I guess something I wanted to highlight, which the commentators were highlighting, was Jalen, who is newly picked up on the Legacy roster. This was only announced on Friday, just days before this was happening, 1 day, in fact, before the qualifiers were to happen. So already to come out and play so well and have so many eyes on you, it was really a nice pickup by Legacy.
Yeah, I think it's also very nice for Legacy because they were the organization who originally had the X2 twins before they moved across to Renegade. So Jalen was one of those players as well who we saw yesterday in the heat. Was very strong in eliminations, and obviously in match number 1 here, very much the same story, getting the max number of points. If you're taking a look at the scoreboard and you're wondering how this works, we're giving points for eliminations and we're giving points for placement. So if you make it into the top 10 placings, top 10%, you're going to guarantee yourself a point. The higher you go, the better it gets. If you do, of course, get that Victory Royale, you're going to find yourself with 3 points. On the elimination side of things, 3 to 4 elims will pick you up a point. 5 to 6 will get you a second. And if you get 7 or more